So, Kwabena AduBoahen in the court case no NSB 49.1 million a year Ghana cedis. Money transfer or transfer go in a personal accounts mo abusua. Ene ye ba be breaking ho update ni bi e de mam na lawyer AttaAkyea abusua, the tactical lawyer AttaAkyea chairman want to mean new lawyer your friend AttaAkyea abusua. There is much interesting moment ahead. Ewo AduBoahen in the case mo na ye catch them say one AttaAkyea staff will be your friend Mr. Cromwell abusua or tormented Samuel AttaAkyea ene Kwabena AduBoahen ewo court ene evidence a odwiri go ho no na enye evidence ketwa ama ye ba be breaking ha edemam na after say all this evidence ni to ya or chese sikampa anase Kwabena AduBoahen ne salary no ye government demand no 2017 18 19 no na ohwe properties a wa acquire abusua omodwene ho a omonte ase na da mean say krono no wabo na ye da sorry ya Kwabena AduBoahen ne lawyer AttaAkyea o se onte ase sa Mr. Cromwell no any court case na ye koso no say ye de ye telecast in live our petition chief justice Kwabena AduBoahen case no NSA fourth prosecution witness friend Cromwell one AttaAkyea staffy abusua or se case no ye telecasting live yan telecasting live on ase abusua asem there is much interesting moment ahead in the chairman want to mean case no because ye telecasting live na abusua the tactical lawyer AttaAkyea ono NHS aid ni dwuma no eno ene ya project say e dey ato your screen no enchen e dey amamon or say AduBoahen's lawyer AttaAkyea Petitions Chief Justice for live telecast of AttaAkyea Investigator Frank Cromwell's cross-examination. Abusua, intino all call for a telecast no. Abusua, emrebi oba be kachre wa ha say sa Mr. Cromwell yi owone ho secret bia obe expose no e wo court wo intino sa one Cromwell yi oba na obegina da kanemu di asembeto no na o intimidate no. And sa intimidation no amfa AttaAkyea officer enne wakogina adakema or testify against Kwabena AduBoahen eno ena AttaAkyea a petition chief justice say ohia live telecast abusua eno ene ya project say ede ato your screen no enchen ede amam na corruption cases ni bi nso ekoso a abedwafo atenase a ye de ebremo ye bepe say ye be makona makwa kotie ensema course na answer na ye be kon Ghana ha say open computer papa and a laptop papa na we use abura periodic computers and accessories ho and na obenya laptop papa na we using no the location enya ira kwan o Kumasi Chrome Estate Eli pick number ya e go e screen ya 0247030108 and answer 0597942133 mum yembo nra yensem ne ba ya de aka ababeto amoso.
Quick one on this.
Okay, so once again, good morning. This is a very interesting conversation. But like I always want to find out, and my two learned seniors here, can you legislate against idiocy?
No. But you can try. No. You can try.
Okay. Because you see, the reason why I asked this first issue or question is that, you see, ultimately, what you are faced with is a personal conviction. You see, there are things that at the level of the individual he must do. You see, you cannot wear white to parliament, wear white to church, quote several scriptures, become the principal, holder of the public purse, right? And few days to leaving office, your own cousin, the president, says, my chief of staff had given you permission to travel abroad. Now your lawyers come and tell us that May that year, you'll be back from your medical thing. And now your lawyers are celebrating the grant of your green card. And you say we should legislate. What are we legislating? People just don't have conscience. Simple. At the bottom of this conversation is that people simply don't have conscience.
Yeah.
People simply feel that this country can be used for whatever it is they want. And they are above accountability. Look, that thing had been created in the minds of some people that we are above the laws of this country. Bottom line. Oh, yes. Why? The people around President Addo strongly believe that they are above the laws of this country. If not, we shouldn't be having this conversation, respectfully. Why are we trying to romanticize this issue? Why? In one breath, my learned senior, Kofi, says, Ken, don't come back. In another breath, he said, no, legislate against others from. I mean, how can you speak from the two sides of your mouth?
You see, he's inviting me.
Yes, I will.
Because I haven't said
but at
that.
the right time, I will come back.
Haven't.
No, I beg you. No, but you have not on this platform, but on different platforms.
On different platforms.
Please hold
If you
on.
don't understand what I've said,
Senior,
it's your
hold
problem.
on.
So that you
On different platforms, you have made it categorical.
Yeah,
in fact, you have suggested to him that he shouldn't. And even today, you said conditions are not. What conditions? Today in America, where Ken Oforiatta is, the Attorney General of New York, who prosecuted President Trump, okay, for the fraud by the Trump organization, is today being prosecuted under President Trump.
Yeah.
She calls it persecution.
Yeah.
The courts have dismissed the indictment. The president says he will come back.
Yes.
That's mighty America. At the condition, Letitia James or whatever she's called, she must be running.
Yeah.
John Bolton, the former national security advisor to President Trump,
Yes.
who fell out with him, had just pleaded guilty by charges brought under by President Trump's Attorney General because, as it were, he disclosed confidential information at that barest minimum. James Comey,
Excellent.
the former FBI boss,
Yeah.
only wrote on Instagram or something,
Yes.
8640
Yes.
or some words.
Yeah.
According to President Trump, that was an invitation for him to be killed
Yes.
because he fell out with Trump.
Yeah.
A Republican former FBI boss is today being prosecuted by President Trump. Mighty America. What conditions are we talking about? You just don't have conscience.
Yeah.
You just came, abuse this country's resources, and decide that let's run away because we are above the law. No conscience. And you sit on this platform to pontificate legislation. And that is why I preface my conversation by asking whether you can legislate against idiocy. You can't. It's not every problem you can solve with legislation. You see, immediately we have this mindset that every Ghanaian problem must come with legislation. We'll come out with laws that will turn ineffective. Look, I have decided to do some research this morning. And in the research I was doing, I realized something unique. Very interesting conversation. Look, 1952, J.B. Dankwa wrote to Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, 1952. How many years ago? 52.
So over 70 years.
Good.
No, it's not 70. Okay.
It's
Yeah,
over
yeah,
70.
Yeah.
J.B. Dankwa wrote to Nkrumah, complaining about cocoa crutches. The scale for weighing cocoa. They have compromised it. They have done all. 2, bezels of schools. What were they doing?
Stealing.
Compromising purchasing, procurement infractions. J.B. Dankwa direct letters from 1952-57 that he's written to Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah complaining about corruption within the public sector. Fast forward. 1993, the PNDC having transitioned into democratic rule. You know what they did? They said, oh, the laws were not strong enough. So they needed to amend Section 179. You know, initially Section 179 stand alone.
Yeah.
So now they introduced 179A with the introduction of causing financial loss to the state. Curiously, the people who introduced that piece of legislation, eventually the same people were the people who were caught up by rates. Yes. From 1992 to date, the people who brought Section 179A were the people who have been caught by rates. I mean, today you go on shows and an MPP communicator will tell you that, you people, you say we are corrupt, but none of our appointees have ever been convicted for corruption, particularly under Section 179A. Look, go and read Justice Dixon Kwame Afre's judgment in the quality grain decision. The charges were formulated, I think, by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo as Attorney General. Now, when the conversation started, the MPP media then, and remember at that time, was only few media men. So they could meet, decide that this week, this is what we'll discuss, and nothing will happen. I understand that's how the word coffee shop came about. Yes. So they discussed the agenda. Today, citizen journalism, you can't set any agenda. People have their own agenda. Now, guess what happened? In Justice Afre's judgment, he spent about 2 pages of the initial, judgment, trying to convince himself that the people he was about to convict, he was not convicting them for stealing or corruption. Because if you see, he himself said, having reviewed over 3,000 pages of documents, evidence, and what have you, records, he has come to the conclusion that he needs to disabuse the mind of the public. That to the mind of the public, those individuals were being prosecuted for corruption and stealing. He wants to let Ghanaians know that that is not the case. And that this is a novel penal law called causing financial loss to the state. And these are the ingredients. And in fact, if you look at the Afre formulation on causing financial loss to the state, it does not even require proof of what you call a terrible mind. All that is required is proof that the loss was willful. And what constituted willfulness was never given, in terms of, you see, because the idea is that penal legislation usually must be construed strictly. It never happened. Okay. So let's get that point.
You disagree with that proposal?
No, this is, let me make this point, I beg you. You see, recently, my learned senior, Kofi, was lawyer for Imani when they went to court under the MPP, I think the tail end of the MPP government, challenging the removal of the heads of security agencies. And one of the arguments put forward by Malene Senior had to do with the fact that, listen, you can't remove persons of that nature unless there's a basis for just cause, right? Now, if you read the reasoning of my Lord Justice Gawu with the concurring opinion by Justice Akabuafo, they claim, they made the point very clear that this just cause provision is restricted to certain category of officers. And then heads of security agencies do not form that Article 191 category of officers. And so an attempt to stretch that provision to enter into the security heads will be problematic. The reason why I'm bringing this is that, you see, my senior makes the point of situations where you can actually even prepare a resignation.
Oh, that was just an example.
Yeah, no, but I'm just providing the legal proof. It will be difficult in our current constitutional arrangement to do that. Okay. Because prima facie it will be declared unconstitutional. Always remember that these are contracts that are not contracts of servitude. Yeah. And so you cannot even ban people. Look, the Ghana Law School used to have a situation where the guys, the law student writing entrance exam, yes, they will be made to do undertaking that you cannot challenge. Yes. Her ladyship, Gifty Addo.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
She struck it, tore it into pieces. Yes. So such pieces of legislation always come with that problem. Then the question of judicial activism. what judges have been trying to do over the period to help also with this conversation on corruption and others. Look, I remember Mabe and Johnson. When Mabe and Johnson happened, Shraj decided to probe government officials, former government officials. One of the private persons raised a legal challenge to Shraj jurisdiction and said, look, the jurisdiction of Shraj is limited to public officials. And to the extent that he is a private individual, Shraj's jurisdiction does not extend to him. Go and read the brilliant reasoning of her ladyship, Georgina Wood. She said, look, if the very ethos of the 1992 Constitution is founded on probity, accountability, and transparency, and social justice, and I tend to insulate a private individual from the ambit of Shraj jurisdiction, would defeat the very purpose of the Constitution. Because then public officials will connive with private people. And immediately there's an issue. The private person will say, no, I'm not part of Shraj, only the public people. Yeah. So brilliantly, the court has intervened. Again, Occupy Ghana. Yeah. Even when there was a may, the court construed that may to be sharp for the purposes of allowing disallowance and such. But you see, my brother here, he brought one of the proponents of surcharge and disallowance when they went to court. Ask him. 8 solid years. Immediately, Domelevo was removed. Ask him if he ever traced one surcharge or disallowance by the Auditor General.
That's the problem.
No, please, senior, calm down.
No, I'm not hearing you.
No, I am giving you why legislation doesn't solve this problem if the leadership does not demonstrate that will. When civil society groups challenge the removal of Mr. Domelevo, the Attorney General at that time said what the president did was lawful. The Supreme Court eventually disagreed with him and said, and the Supreme Court said, look, we disagree. So I strongly believe that, look, we can have a way around it. What is required is leadership. President Mahama that I know, the President Mahama that I know, he will not even allow you the opportunity to say you are running away. No. Because you see, let us not bury our heads with respect in the sand and pretend that this thing was not well orchestrated. It was planned, thought through, executed to perfection. Everything that is happening today, the MPP as a political group, realizing that Ken Ofori-Atta was an integral part. A man who could not be removed by 94 MP. Were you among the MPs who signed Miracle?
You finish.
No, I'm just by way of public information.
Once it's mentioned, I think I can come.
Yeah, you can.
I'm surprised.
Please, you are coming. I am asking. I just wanted to find out whether he's among the 94 MPs who wanted.
Even if he was not,
even
if he was not, eventually Sir Chairman Sabosu said all of them.
Very well.
All of them.
So the point I'm making with that scenario is that you see, when you have a powerful co-president like Ken Ofori-Atta, there is no way the long arms of accountability. Look, let us not mistake this. Ken is the only finance minister to have run away from accountability since 1992. Richard Campepra stood and he was here throughout.
I mean, just to push for.
Victor Solomon was in this country throughout.
Forgetting instead in
Setepe was. What is the issue? You are so fascinated about. At least, Sedi was in court. She went through a trial, sought permission from the court and traveled.
Why do you bring her and keep?
Thank you very much.
Keep her at home.
Let Ken come. Let her have a house arrest. Why can't Ken come?
Yes, if he comes, I'll support house arrest. If Ken comes, I'll be one of the.
Let her have a house arrest. Can you on this platform say Ken should come?
Let him come. You will support house arrest.
No.
Just change the thing to Ken. I mean, this is a country where you come in. We need not to have selective justice.
Where there's selectiveness.
No, selectiveness is where you come into government, you use nolle prosequa to exonerate people. And you come and sit here and talk about conscience?
Okay.
Do you have that conscience?
Messiano,
Are you telling me you have that
bring you
conscience?
on this?
Okay, thank you. Let me make some preliminary comments before I get into the substantive question. So Kofi and I, we are part of a Lego Hall fraternity. Former Lego Hall presidents. And, and, you know, that's one point of commonality. But in general, I have been shocked and scandalized by our former minister's position. And,
Which of the former ministers are you talking about?
Ken's position of not coming back. And I'm raising that because when earlier on, Kofi advised him that don't come back.
Yes.
I thought that was disappointing.
Okay, so my brother, let me correct you. I said, no serious lawyer will advise Ken Ofori-Atta
And you are a serious lawyer.
under this circumstance to come back. Before I said that a
Circumstance
year
of persecution.
before the U.S. court made the same
But you've already
Well, go ahead.
you have already
Convicted
convicted
him.
him.
Go ahead.
Okay, abusuya. The tactical lawyer AttaAkyea ono ena HSA yede no update one kwabena AduBoahen's case no yede brema enye asem ketwa kra beda mase samote pene kokoti za ensem we yede mai aha eye gossip politics TV so